Part 1. Quiet Sparks. Take a slow breath in and let it out gently. Your day can loosen its grip now. You're safe where you are, and you do not have to solve anything tonight. All you have to do is listen, and if sleep arrives early, that is perfectly fine. Tonight we begin a 5-part sleep story about Nikola Tesla, told in calm chronological order from his earliest years to the last days of his life. You will hear about the boy who watched storms and wondered why light lived inside the sky, the student who carried ideas like hidden lanterns, and the inventor who changed how the modern world moves. For now, we start at the beginning, where the first sparks were still small and private. Nikola Tesla was born on July 10, 1856, in the village of Smiljan, in what was then the Austrian Empire, in a region that is part of modern-day Croatia. The night of his birth was marked by a thunderstorm, and later stories love to frame that detail like a sign. Whether or not we romanticize it, lightning became a repeating symbol in his life. Sudden, bright, and impossible to ignore. Tesla's father, Milutin Tesla, was a Serbian Orthodox priest, a serious man who valued language, memory, and discipline. His mother, Juka Mandic, never had formal schooling, yet she was known for practical intelligence and for building small household tools with her hands. Tesla later said his mother's gift for invention shaped him deeply. From his parents, he received 2 currents, the structured power of words and the quiet power of making things. As a child, Tesla was observant, sensitive, and intensely imaginative. He later described vivid mental images that could appear without warning, as if his mind projected pictures onto the air. Sometimes these images were so strong they felt real. Over time, he learned to study them, and that practice became one of his most unusual skills. He could design machines in his head, rotate them, refine them, test them, and only then build them physically. He also carried grief early. His older brother Dane was considered exceptionally talented, and when Tesla was still young, Dane died in an accident involving a horse. The loss shook the family, and Tesla grew up in the shadow of what might have been. Many biographers describe a quiet pressure in the home after that, a feeling that Nikola had to become something remarkable, not only for himself, but for the space his brother left behind. Tesla attended school in nearby towns and showed strong ability in mathematics and physics, but he was not an easy student. He could be charming and brilliant, yet also stubborn, intense, and prone to pushing himself too hard. He read constantly. He noticed patterns. He became fascinated by the idea that nature followed laws that could be understood, and once understood, could be used. In his teens, he suffered a severe illness, close enough to death that it forced the family into difficult conversations about his future. Tesla wanted to study engineering. His father wanted him in the priesthood. During the illness, Tesla later claimed his father promised he could pursue engineering if he recovered. He did recover, and the promise mattered. It was as if his life's direction had been agreed to at the edge of the bed, in a room where breathing was counted. Afterward, Tesla moved into formal technical study. He attended the Austrian Polytechnic in Graz, beginning in 1875. There, one lecture changed the shape of his mind. He saw a Graham dynamo, a machine that could act as a motor, and he became consumed by a question. Could an electric motor run without sparks and brushes, powered by alternating current, smoothly and efficiently? His professors dismissed the idea as impractical. Tesla did not forget it. He carried it like a seed. In the next part, we will follow him through obsession, exhaustion, and the first real steps toward the inventions that would later power cities. For now, let your jaw soften, let your hands rest, and remember, you are doing well. You can drift whenever you like. If you imagine him in Graz, you can picture late evenings, oil lamps, cold air at the window, and pages of notes spread neatly across a desk. He listened for the hum of machines the way others listen for music. Even then, he was learning a lifetime habit, to stay with a question until it became a doorway. Breathe slowly now, in and out. Let your eyes grow heavy, and let the story hold you, like a warm blanket settling into place. Part 2. The current begins to move. Settle a little deeper now. Let your shoulders sink. If your thoughts wander, that's perfectly fine. You can always come back to the sound of the story, like returning to a quiet shoreline. Tonight, we continue Nikola Tesla's life as it slowly gathers momentum, one idea at a time. After his early years of study in Graz, Tesla's life did not move in a straight, orderly line. It moved in bursts, pauses, and sudden turns. He worked obsessively, sometimes studying for days without proper rest, driven by the vision of machines he could already see clearly in his mind. That intensity came at a cost. During his time in Graz, Tesla struggled with exhaustion, isolation, and the pressure he placed on himself. Eventually, he left without formally completing his degree. For someone who valued discipline and precision, this felt like a quiet failure, one he rarely spoke about later. In the years that followed, Tesla drifted through different cities and roles. He worked briefly as a draftsman, then as an engineer, taking whatever technical work allowed him to stay close to electricity. During this period, he experienced what he later described as some of his darkest moments. There were days when he felt lost, unsure whether his ideas would ever find a place in the world. At one point, he wandered the streets of Budapest, physically weak and emotionally drained. And then, in 1882, something remarkable happened. While walking in a city park with a friend, reciting lines of poetry to calm his mind, Tesla suddenly stopped. In that still moment, the solution he had carried for years appeared with stunning clarity. He later said he could see the rotating magnetic field in front of him, as real as if it were built of iron and copper. Right there, under the open sky, he drew diagrams in the dirt with a stick. The alternating current motor was no longer an idea. It was complete. This moment did not come with applause or celebration. There was no crowd, just a quiet park, a fading afternoon, and a man standing very still as his life changed direction. You can imagine the calm that followed, the deep breath, the sense of knowing something important had finally settled into place. Let that feeling wash over you too. You don't have to rush anything tonight. Soon after, Tesla moved to Paris, where he worked for the Continental Edison Company. His job involved improving electrical equipment, repairing systems, and traveling to fix problems others could not solve. He was respected for his skill, but his larger ideas remained mostly invisible to those around him. Still, he learned. He watched how companies worked, how power systems were built, and how innovation was shaped by money and influence as much as by brilliance. Tesla believed his future lay elsewhere. America, especially New York City, represented opportunity and scale. In 1884, with little money and a head full of designs, he boarded a ship for the United States. Legend says he arrived with a few cents, some calculations, and a letter of introduction addressed to Thomas Edison. Whether or not the story is embellished, the truth remains. Tesla arrived as an unknown immigrant, stepping into a city buzzing with ambition and electricity. New York was loud, crowded, and alive. Edison was already famous, surrounded by machines, workers, and press. Tesla was hired and put to work immediately. He impressed people with his ability to solve complex problems quickly, often improving designs that others struggled with. But beneath the surface, attention grew. Edison favored direct current. Tesla believed alternating current was the future. Their minds moved in different rhythms. When promises were broken and respect faded, Tesla left Edison's company. The separation was painful and left him without income. For a time, he worked manual labor, digging ditches to survive. Imagine that contrast, a man who could power cities, standing in the dirt, holding a shovel. If you feel tired tonight, remember this part. Even the brightest paths can pass through quiet, difficult ground. But the story does not end there. In the next part, we will see how Tesla's ideas finally found backers, how alternating current began to rise, and how his name started to matter. For now, rest your eyes. You're doing enough just by being here. Let the world slow. Let the current carry you gently forward. Part 3. Power finds its shape. Let your breathing stay slow and even. There is nothing you need to remember, nothing you need to hold on to. The story will carry itself, and you can simply float alongside it. Tonight, we move into the years when Nikola Tesla's ideas finally began to take physical form, when the quiet visions in his mind started to reshape the outside world. After the difficult break with Edison, Tesla's life entered a fragile phase. He was exhausted, nearly invisible, and unsure if his ideas would ever be taken seriously. Yet even during this period, he never doubted the truth of what he had seen in that park years earlier. Alternating current was not a theory to him. It was a reality, waiting for the right moment. That moment arrived when Tesla met a group of investors who were willing to listen. With their support, he formed the Tesla Electric Company and began building working models of his alternating current motors and systems. Unlike many inventors, Tesla did not rely heavily on trial and error. He demonstrated machines that worked cleanly and smoothly from the start, stunning audiences with rotating magnetic fields that produced motion without sparks or excessive heat. Word began to spread quietly at first, then more widely. Tesla's designs caught the attention of George Westinghouse, an industrialist who recognized that alternating current could transmit electricity over long distances far more efficiently than direct current. In 1888, Westinghouse licensed Tesla's patents. This partnership marked a turning point. Tesla's ideas were no longer isolated. They were now backed by infrastructure, capital, and vision. What followed became known as the War of Currents. Edison and others fiercely opposed alternating current, warning the public that it was dangerous. Demonstrations were staged, fear was encouraged. Tesla watched as his work became the center of public controversy, even though his goal had always been simple: to make power safer, cleaner, and more accessible. Through it all, he remained composed, trusting that time and evidence would speak more clearly than noise. The true test came with the Niagara Falls project. Harnessing the immense power of the falls had been a dream for decades. Many systems had failed or proven impractical. Tesla's alternating current system succeeded where others could not. When the first generators powered Buffalo, New York in 1896, it was a quiet revolution. Cities could now be electrified from far away. The modern electrical grid was born. Tesla did not celebrate loudly. He rarely did. Instead, he moved on to new questions. How else could energy move? What else could be transmitted invisibly through space? He lectured, demonstrated experiments with high voltage and high frequency currents, and amazed audiences with controlled lightning that danced across his skin. Yet beneath the spectacle was always the same calm purpose: understanding nature's rhythms. As fame grew, so did isolation. Tesla lived alone, followed strict routines, and became increasingly sensitive to sound and disorder. He walked the streets at night, thinking. He counted steps. He avoided physical contact. These habits were not performances. They were how he stayed balanced inside a world that often felt too loud. If you feel the quiet settling now, that's good. You're allowed to rest while the story continues. In the next part, we will explore Tesla's most ambitious dreams, his experiments with wireless power, and the moments when the future seemed just within reach. For now, let your thoughts soften. You are safe. The lights are on, gently humming because someone once believed they could be. Part 4. Dreams that reached too far. Let your breathing slow again, gently and naturally. You are safe here, and nothing needs your attention right now. In this part of the story, Nikola Tesla's ideas stretch outward, becoming vast and luminous, sometimes heavier than the world was ready to carry. If your eyes feel tired, that is completely fine. You can rest while the story continues, like listening to rain without needing to stay awake. By the mid-1890s, Tesla had become well known. Newspapers wrote about him with fascination. Crowds gathered to see his demonstrations, where lightning seemed to obey his hands and lamps glowed without wires. He spoke calmly, never rushing, as if the forces around him were familiar companions. To many observers, Tesla appeared to stand with one foot in the present and the other in the future. Inside, however, Tesla felt unfinished. Alternating current had changed the world, but to him it was only a single chapter. His thoughts turned increasingly toward wireless transmission. He imagined energy moving freely through the air, information traveling instantly across oceans, and technology serving humanity without barriers. These were not vague dreams. In his mind, they existed as complete systems, already solved. In 1899, Tesla traveled to Colorado Springs, drawn by its altitude and powerful storms. There, he built a laboratory where size and safety limits no longer restrained him. Giant coils filled the space. Electrical arcs cracked through the air, bright and loud, echoing across the plains. Tesla worked day and night, measuring resonance, frequency, and voltage, believing the Earth itself could be used as a conductor for energy. Despite the spectacle, Tesla remained methodical. He recorded observations carefully, noting patterns others overlooked. During this time, he reported detecting unusual signals, which he briefly believed might originate beyond Earth. Whether misinterpretation or imagination, these experiences deepened his conviction that unseen structures govern the universe. When Tesla returned to New York, he committed himself fully to his most ambitious vision, the Wardenclyffe Tower. Backed initially by financier J.P. Morgan, the tower was intended to become the center of a global wireless network. From this single structure, Tesla believed communication and eventually power could be transmitted worldwide. Construction began, and for a brief moment, the future felt close and tangible. Gradually, obstacles appeared. Funding slowed. Investors questioned the project's purpose, especially when Tesla spoke less about profit and more about universal access. Without continued support, progress stalled. The tower stood unfinished, tall and quiet against the sky, filled with promise that never fully arrived. Tesla continued working, convinced that success was just one step away. As time passed, the world moved on. New technologies emerged. Driven by commercial interests, Tesla resisted. His reputation faded, replaced by louder voices. Yet Tesla remained dignified, thoughtful, and devoted to knowledge. If this part feels heavy, hold it gently. Even unrealized dreams can shape the world. In these years, Tesla's daily life became quieter, yet his inner world remained bright. He followed strict routines, walked long distances at night, and avoided unnecessary conversation. He believed order helped protect the mind from chaos. He slept little, trusting short periods of rest, and when he did lie down, his thoughts often continued calmly, arranging themselves like carefully placed tools on a table. If your own thoughts are settling now, that is good. You do not need to hold them. Tesla still lectured occasionally, still wrote, still imagined futures that had not yet found their moment. He believed deeply that humanity would one day understand what he had tried to show. That belief sustained him, even as recognition faded. There is something gentle in that kind of faith, something steady and quiet. As you listen, allow your breathing to remain slow and easy. Let your shoulders soften. You do not need to solve Tesla's story tonight. You are only here to hear it. The night can hold the unanswered questions. The final chapter will arrive soon, and it will do so gently, just like sleep. Feel the weight of the day leaving you now. The story has done its work. You are allowed to drift, to rest, to let go. Nothing else is required of you in this moment. Stay with the calm. Let the quiet grow wider around you, like a soft room with no edges. You are safe, and the night is kind. Breathe in slowly, breathe out even slower, and let yourself sink into rest. Sleep is close now. Rest, now. Let everything slow down now. There's nothing left to chase, and nowhere you need to go. This final part of Nikola Tesla's life unfolds gently, like a long evening settling into night. You can listen without effort. And if sleep arrives before the final words, that is perfectly all right. As the 20th century moved forward, Tesla's public presence faded almost completely. The world had become louder, faster, and more commercial, while Tesla remained inward, reflective, and patient. He lived alone in New York City, moving between hotels, carrying little more than his notebooks and his thoughts. Fame no longer followed him. Silence did. Tesla created strict routines to bring order to his days. He woke at precise times, walked long distances every evening, and ate carefully measured meals. He believed routine protected the mind, allowing ideas to remain clear even as the body aged. He avoided crowds, loud noises, and unnecessary touch. His world became smaller, but also calmer. Though few noticed, Tesla never stopped thinking. He continued to imagine wireless communication, remote control, energy transmission, and systems that would only be realized decades later. His mind remained far ahead of his time, quietly patient. He believed that truth did not need to be rushed. It would wait. In these later years, Tesla found comfort in pigeons, especially one white pigeon he cared for deeply. He spoke of it with tenderness, saying it brought him peace when loneliness pressed in. In that simple companionship, he found warmth. Even brilliant minds need gentleness. Financial struggles became constant. Tesla relied on delayed payments, small allowances, and kindness from hotel staff who respected him. Still, he dressed neatly and spoke politely. He did not grow bitter. He accepted his circumstances with dignity, believing his work mattered beyond recognition. As his body weakened, his thoughts grew quieter. He spent long hours alone, imagining a future where energy was used wisely and peacefully. He believed humanity would one day understand balance. That belief stayed with him. Nikola Tesla died quietly on January 7, 1943, alone in his hotel room. He was 86 years old. There were no crowds, no speeches, just stillness. Yet the world continued to glow. Lights turned on. Cities breathed with power shaped by his ideas. His legacy moved silently through wires and space. If your breathing is slow now, let it stay that way. You have listened long enough. The story is complete. You are safe to rest. Let sleep take you gently now.